Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you may be listening, whatever time it may be. My name is Ryan Dooley, and I'm your host for Let's Talk Football. This is going to be game preview number 3 between Tulane and Ole Miss. This game is being played in Oxford, Mississippi, the number 6 versus 11 seed of the first round of this college football playoff. This is the 3 o'clock game tomorrow. This is, in my opinion, where the analysis get a little easier for this game and the one I will talk about later on today between Oregon and James Madison. These are the group of 5 teams. There are 2 of them, with Tulane being the first one out of the American. And then again, I will talk about James Madison later. This game already happened. This is one of 2 matchups in the first round that we have already seen this year. The other one being Oklahoma Alabama, which will kick off tonight at 8 o'clock. This one, excuse me, went a little differently than the Oklahoma Alabama game did earlier in the season. That game was decided by 2 points. This one was decided by 35. These teams met up in week 4 in Oxford, Mississippi again, and the final score ended up being 45-10. But a lot has changed since then. This is a different Tulane team. Obviously, this is a different Ole Miss team. The big storyline coming out of this game is Lane Kiffin will not be the head coach. He took the job as the LSU head coach, and Ole Miss will not let him coach this game, which I think is the right decision. You can't let him coach this game. Although on the other side, John Summerall is taking the Florida job, and he will coach this game for Tulane. So very interesting to see the different dynamics there between the 2 schools and how they handle the situation. Not that one is right or wrong, but they did handle it differently. But like I mentioned, they played all the way back in week 4, and these teams are a lot different than they were in week 4. I've said many times, I believe Ole Miss should not even be the 6 seed. I believe they should be the 7 seed. With losing Lane Kiffin, they did not move down at all, which I believe is ridiculous. I think, especially a couple years ago, since we saw Florida State drop out of the playoff, you're not kicking Ole Miss out of the playoff for losing Lane Kiffin, but keeping them ahead of a team like Texas A&M, who is also 11-1 and was the number 3 team in the country for most of the year. I believe the committee got that wrong, and I think Ole Miss got lucky here with hosting Tulane instead of having to host to Miami. We'll get into this game a little bit. Like I said, that game back in week 4 was a lot. A lot has changed since then on both sides. Tulane coming out of the Americans since then. They finished 11-2 on the year, and a win in the American Conference Championship to put them into this game. This game early on was a blowout, obviously from the score, but also on the stat sheet. Trinidad Chambliss had a great game, 17 for 27, 2 touchdowns, and 307 yards. This game was 23-3 at halftime, so this game was really over at the half as well. 22 points as well from Ole Miss in the fourth quarter to really put this thing away. The big news from this is Tulane quarterback Jake Reslaf, or excuse me, Reslif, uh, 5 for 17. Of course, he is the BYU transfer. Transferred out of there pretty late in the season, ends up coming here to Tulane and has had a very good season. This is not he was very good at BYU for the 2 years that he was there. I'll take a look at his page here. Yeah, 2 years at BYU. Was very good there. It's gotten better and better every year. His last year at BYU was pretty good with 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, just under 3,000 yards. He's gotten better as he's gotten to Tulane as well. He uses his legs quite a bit. I would say the thing to watch out for with him: 118 carries on the year for 610 yards and 16 touchdowns. This guy loves to run, especially down in the red zone. He will use his legs. So look for him to make an impact on this game with his legs. It's always tough no matter what the skill gap is between 2 teams. If a quarterback can run and add that threat to the defense has to respect that, and they will have to spy him throughout this game. Speaking of changing the game with your legs, Trinidad Chambliss can do the same thing. On the year, 470 rushing yards, 112 of those came in this week 4 matchup against Tulane. So he ran all over them in this first time they played. Tulane is going to have to defend that better. They are going to have to limit his legs and make him beat them with his arm, which I believe he is also very capable of. He had a great year, finishing top 10 in the Heisman voting, not as a finalist, but finished top 10 in voting and got some first place votes. Trinidad Chambliss is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. The FCS transfer, Lane Kiffin brought him in. Smaller name in the portal, brought him in, and he has been absolutely incredible. I'm interested to see how he will play without Lane Kiffin there. Obviously, Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, who is moving to LSU, is back at Ole Miss for this college football playoff run. Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, has taken over as the permanent head coach. So both coordinators will stay the same for this game, which I believe is a big deal. Um, if it was someone completely new coming in or an interim coach, I think I would be a little more worried about Ole Miss. This is not saying that I believe they'll make a deep run in this. I have them losing next round as Georgia awaits the winner of this game. But I do not believe Ole Miss is 5 touchdowns worse than they were with Lane Kiffin when they beat this team in Week 4. I don't believe Tulane is 5 touchdowns better than they were. I don't see this game being all that close. I would say my key to this game is how will Ole Miss adapt to not having Lane Kiffin on the sideline and less of the the coaching stuff of getting ready for the game and everything. This team, Ole Miss has an extra week off as they were not in their conference championship while Tulane was. So they've had time. They've had more time to prepare than Tulane has. Um, but this, to me, it's less of that preparedness and more of if they start to struggle. Lane Kiffin was a very known for being a motivator and getting his guys back on track. He will not be there for that. Who will be the guy, if any, on that sideline to rally the troops and get them back on track? Because they could get in trouble here if they really start to get off track and it snowballs from there. That is about the only way I see Tulane staying in this game. However, though, I have Ole Miss in this game pretty easily. Um, yeah, I don't see a path for Tulane to win this game. They're playing much better as of late. Um, I just Ole Miss is so talented still, even without Lane Kiffin. The athletes on the actual field are so good, and Trinidad Chambliss, he is not a freshman quarterback. Although it's his first year, maybe on a big stage, he has experience playing quarterback. 18 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions on the year. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. That's a staple of that offense. The play calling is going to be the same as it was. I do not see a path for Tulane to win this game. I do believe it is closer. Ole Miss is a pretty heavy favorite in this game. They are a 16.5 point favorite. Um, and I believe they cover that. Maybe not cover it too crazy, but I believe they do win and cover that spread for them. I will take Ole Miss to beat Tulane 41-20 at home. Um, it's better than it was in Week 4. This one's a 21-point win instead of a 35-point win. So maybe there is a touchdown difference on both sides of Ole Miss is a touchdown worse without Lane Kiffin, and Tulane is a touchdown better. But this atmosphere is going to be rocking. It's a 3 o'clock game. Oxford is going to be crazy, especially with all the Lane Kiffin stuff that has happened. That place is going to be rocking for this first round game. I think these games on these home sites mean so much more than people realize. So for those reasons and just the reason that I believe Ole Miss is the better team, 41-20, I have Ole Miss pretty comfortably coming away with this one. I'm not sure this game is ever really that close. I think Ole Miss probably comes out on fire with all the doubt in them. They look great and then maybe cool off as the game goes on and hold on to win this one pretty big. So yeah, that's kind of all the analysis I have on this game. I'm very excited to talk about if Ole Miss is able to win that Georgia game because I think that game could be a little better than people think it is. But that is all I have in this one. I will be posting an analysis of the last game between James Madison and Oregon a little bit later on today. If you haven't seen the first two from the Alabama Oklahoma game and the Miami Texas A&M game, make sure to click through my channel and go watch those. They're all on a playlist. But for now, that is all I have. So from wherever you may be watching, whatever time it may be, I'm Ryan Dooley, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this episode of Let's Talk Football. If you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, comment down below with what you would like to see me talk about next. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like it, click on the video right now to see my last episode, and let's talk more football.